Tucker back in the lineup? Yep. Okay, good to go?
Yeah, you know what? He went through the gamut a couple days ago. Feels good. So yeah, it's good to get him back in there.
Do you think he got the mental reset part too? You guys were hoping this would kind of serve as?
I think so. I think that there were some things that we were working on as far as on the mechanic side before the back went out. They built on that the other day. And so, yeah, I think we got the mental reset, and also physically he's in a good spot.
Are there things you're looking for with him? I know you mentioned the zone control and all that, but even just in the way, the quality of contact he's making, the kind of balls he's hitting, are there things you are hoping to see quickly here that will let you know he's kind of getting on a better path?
I think for me, I think it's, honestly, I think for me, looking at pitch selection, and he did it the other at bat, the only at bat he took the other day with the walk, where it's kind of hunting his zone. And I think that when he starts to expand, that's just not who he is as a hitter. And so for me is, Walker's going to be throwing cut fastballs, curveballs, change-ups. If he can control the zone, I think for me that's a good step in the right direction.
Seems like he's always very aware of pitch selection piece of it, but when you see him go away from that, why do you think that might be happening?
I think for me it's, because I think that no hitter wants to chase, but I do think that there gets to an over, anxiousness, wanting to do more, trying to force something that isn't there. And I think that's kind of what most hitters fall into that bucket when they start to expand.
Did Snell throw his bullpen today?
He did. Snell threw his bullpen, 15 pitches. We had Tyson Ross there putting an eye on him, and it went really well. Edwin Diaz also threw a bullpen. That went well also.
Is there a chance Snell could pitch before the All-Star break?
No. Just kind of seeing it as a bullpen and then to have him build up, no chance.
Does he have to go back to square one to build up?
Yeah, I think so. I think that as we should, we went through the process the first time and kind of didn't go well the first time. So to make sure we check all the boxes, but again, I don't know what that means, but to your question, before the All-Star break, I don't see that happening.
Diaz still post All-Star break too?
That's a little tougher question, given that it's just a one-inning stint. No, he's still kind of feeling better day by day, but not really doing baseball activities. So, yeah, I don't know when his return to play will be.
Does that make it less likely, even though you don't know, but less likely that it's at the beginning of next homestand for him?
Definitely less likely for that. Yeah.
How concerning has this become?
I think it's concerning in the sense that it's a lot longer than we'd expected. It's not concerning because we don't think it's a long-term situation.
Were there, after the game the other day, just like any other conversations you had or the coaching staff had with Dalton and or Shohei just on that dynamic and kind of how things played out in that inning the other day?
We had conversations. I think that it was in the moment. I really feel that going forward we'll all be on the same page, and you're not always going to be synced up, but I think that where it got to the other day, I really don't see that happening again. I don't. So they all care. Everyone cares. It's just more of I got to make sure that we're all on the same page, and they got to do their parts.
Will you be catch Shohei next year?
I haven't decided yet, but most likely.
This is someone who knows that he can be viral. We've seen it pretty much all season long. Anything he does is captured on cameras. Do you think that plays into his mind in real time and can create maybe an avalanche effect?
I don't think he thinks that he goes viral in the moment. I think that sometimes he just gets so kind of sees red, and but he understands that there's consequences to actions, and so, you know, we got to be more mindful, and he's aware of it. That's a good question. I don't know that answer yet. I think that's more of a Mark Pryor, pitching guys, Shohei and Dalton question.
You talked about Ohtani, there being like some added nuance for catchers when they catch him. What is different about kind of calling or being behind the plate for one of his games and trying to call his pitch mix?
Yeah. I think, you know, Shohei's very particular in what he wants to throw, where most guys are not as, they're more kind of gray, where I think Shohei is just more clear on what he wants to throw. You know, I guess it's a little bit like Clayton. You know, Clayton, and I hate to kind of draw the comparison, but in this context, I think that, you know, Clayton had a real good idea of what he wanted to do. And so if the catcher wasn't kind of in sync with him, it became frustrating. So I think that's kind of how Shohei is.
You all have VC on your side of the cap, Venezuela earthquake, I guess. As an organization, what do you think you could do it for?
Yeah, you know, all I know is that we have two Venezuelan players right now, Miggy Rowe and Edgar Henriquez, and many in the minor league system. Many baseball players are from Venezuela. I think for us, it's just more of awareness. There's nothing we can do right now but know that there's a lot of lives that have lost. They're going through a catastrophe, a disaster, and just lift them up in thoughts and prayers, and just know that, you know, they matter, right? Because I think if, you know, they're not here locally, then it's not really happening. But life is happening outside of our bubble, you know. So that's the thought.
How much do you think American wants to see?
Badly. He would love nothing more than to shove it up our, you know what. But we know that. We love him for it. It's going to be a good one. He's going to bring some good intensity. It'll be fun.